Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder with yet another Reddit story for you. This one is from the AITA subreddit and is titled, Will I Be the Astronaut for Telling My Little Sister She Can't Remove Me from My Wedding Photo and Photoshop Herself into my place? The my wedding photo part of this really makes it a lot worse, doesn't it? My little sister, 28 female, is recently engaged. I, 30 female, got married about 6 years ago. I've since divorced and am engaged again. Our mom died 5 years ago, shortly after my wedding. At my wedding 6 years ago, the photographer took a photo of my mom fastening a necklace around my neck. My little sister has told multiple people that when she gets married, she plans to hire someone with graphic design skills to remove me from that photo and Photoshop herself in my place. So far, I've said nothing, but I've always felt hurt by that idea, and now that she is actually planning a wedding, I'm wondering if I should put my foot down. At the same time, I don't want to add to her pain either. Background on prioritizing her feelings once leading up to this point. Very shortly after our mom died, all of my sisters, including my older married sisters, expressed that they wanted our mom's engagement ring. As my little sister didn't get to have our mom at her wedding and the rest of us did get that experience, I urged my dad to hang on to our mom's engagement ring for our little sister for when she eventually were to get engaged. Ultimately, I was successful in advocating for her to inherit our mom's ring. Once engaged, she decided to reset the ring so the only part of it that remains is the central diamond. It is a completely different design now and is unrecognizable. We are all a bit miffed by that, but what's done is done. Next, we both wanted to use our mom's wedding dress in our upcoming weddings, but she plans to alter it beyond recognition as it was a long sleeve A-line dress and she wants a strapless mermaid style dress. I proposed that we each wear it, but not make significant alterations, but she brought up that I'm the only one who didn't get to have mom at her wedding, and I do feel for her, so I dropped my bid to wear the dress. But at this point, I feel inclined to draw the line at removing me from my own photo with my mom. Yes, I did get to have my mom at my first wedding. I don't have her at my wedding to the person I'll be spending the rest of my life with, so I'm feeling some sadness there too. If someone is going to be photoshopping someone out of that picture, I feel like it should be me photoshopping my 24-year-old self for my 31-year-old self. She also has a ton of photos with our mom that she could use for this purpose instead, as well as photos from our mom's solo that no one would need to be removed from. Obviously, I can't force her to not do as she pleases with the photo, but will I be the astronaut if I tell her I'm not okay with that and that she doesn't have my permission or blessing to remove me from my wedding photo with my mom? Edited to add, many people suggesting lawsuits, so I want to clarify that no, I would not sue over this. I love my sister and don't want to add to her grief. I'm only grappling with whether or not it's worth to ask her not to use my photo in this way. There is a little bit of an update here, but let's talk about it for a moment. Candy Thunder says, I don't think I would care if my sister photoshopped me out so she could have her own copy. I think there's going to be, I understand you would empathize for your sister and you would want her to have something. I think it's the context of that same younger sister getting the benefit of the things that she had left behind to this point and not respecting them to the level that she thinks they should be respected to. So it's almost like I understand and I feel for you, but you've already abused this power, so I'm not going to let you employ it a third time. But I mean, what's the big deal? Who's going to have the picture? The sister? She's going to have it on her own stuff, and how it's not going to harm OP.
No, I don't think the picture is too far. I think the picture is like, if I had that picture of myself, I would have no hesitation offering my sister. I would get it done for her if that's what she wanted. But I think she is taking it too far with the dress and the ring and the picture. I think you're right. She is abusing what she missed out on. But the picture to me is like really not that big of a deal. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal to us. It is to OP, obviously. And you're not an asshole for feeling how you're feeling. I don't think you can be. It's what you do with those, right? So at this point, I think it is a matter of you just basically saying, am I going to be an asshole if and when I explain how I feel to my younger sister? I think if you explain how you feel to your younger sister, you are absolutely not the asshole for doing that. I think you're not asking her not to do it. You're just telling her how you feel about it. And I think that's perfectly fine and understandable. And hopefully she respects that. She might counter with telling you how she feels, and then it's a stalemate. And then she probably does it anyway and knows that you disapprove and doesn't really care. Given the previous behavior, I would expect that to be a highly possible route. So As long as you're prepared for what happens from there and it's not going to destroy your soul, cool. Tell her how you feel. At least let her understand, hopefully, more so the gravity of the situation. Because right now, it doesn't seem like she understands the gravity of any of the situations with the previous articles. Yeah, darling, the original is not going to be hurt with a digital change. It's going to be a duplication. The original will still be there. It's not going to do any harm to OP. It's just like a third insult to her. I think that's what it feels like. A third insult to something that is a keepsake from their mom. Allison, yeah, the change to the ring and the dress, I think, is what set the tone for OP having the problem with this. And at this point, it's just you wanting to explain your feelings. Go ahead. I mean, you have already acknowledged that you can't control her and she may still go through with it, but you can tell her it's a big deal to you and you understand it may not be to her. It's not to us. It wouldn't be a big deal to us, but you're allowed to feel how you feel. All right, let's dive into the update here. Update. I pulled from the thoughtful suggestions on this thread and called my little sister this afternoon and asked if we could talk about her plans with the photo. I asked, instead of switching us out of my wedding photo, if she would be open to instead her and I recreating that image at her wedding, then editing our mom into that photo in my place. I shared a little about how I feel, that incorporating our mom into her wedding day is something I fully support and understand, but that seeing myself removed from that moment with my mom at my wedding and from that hotel room where my dog, who has also since passed, is looking on in the background of the photo would be painful to look at. She said she hadn't thought about that and that she loves the idea of adding mom into a photo on her wedding day instead of putting herself in my place in that photo from mine. So thank you to those who suggested that. It accomplishes her goal but seems to feel better to us both. Plus, I'm the same height as our mom while she's a bit taller, so using me as a stand-in for mom might be easier to work with as far as angles for the editor. That led to the general conversation of how we both want to find ways to honor our mom at her upcoming weddings, which led to the dress topic. She mentioned that she's been feeling torn about the dress because she wants to wear it because it was mom's but doesn't like the style. And with how costly such significant alterations will be, she's realized that a new dress would cost less. So I reiterated my interest in the dress and used an additional idea from this thread to suggest that she buys the dress she wants, but does some of her bridal portraits in our mom's unaltered dress. She seemed to like that idea and said that she just wants to make sure she finds her dream dress before she commits to going that direction. She has some appointments scheduled at bridal boutiques this weekend. I'm not going to die on that hill if she decides to go dress alteration route, so we'll just have to see on that one. I really like the ideas people shared here about commissioning an artist to create a painting, including our mom and several other loved ones who've recently lost. It's been a brutal few years in our family, and a wedding photo for her, so I'm going to figure out something along those lines for a wedding gift. Thank you to those who shared your perspective and ideas, which I wasn't expecting, in a compassionate way. It was very helpful. And to the people who commented just to shame me for getting remarried after a divorce, not so helpful. Hope your lives continue to be perfect, and you never know the struggle of trying to extract yourselves from a terrible situation. Oof. Wowza. Yeah, people are the worst. Wow. Okay. So OP did one better. Did one better than explaining feelings, actually offered alternatives, offered solutions. And I think that's the ultimate goal, right? If you can not just explain your feelings, but then say, here's an idea, would you be open to? Then it's actionable. Then you're not putting the work of trying to come up with a workaround for not offending your feelings onto the person that you're talking to. If you can offer that turnkey solution, it's as easy as possible to avoid the pain that you're trying to get away from.